Alright, so we start with the question 1a, and question 1a has to do with forces, balanced and unbalanced forces. Now, if you've never met this before, it's very simple. Look at the forces that are going in the same direction and forces that are going in opposite directions. When the forces are going in opposite directions, you subtract. When they are going in the same direction, you add. So let's start with A. So I says calculate the net force on the block A, B, C, D, and E. So we start with A. Now with A, the forces are in opposite direction. So what you do is you subtract 7 minus 2. So you're going to end up with 5 Newton. Now with B, B as well is moving in opposite direction. So it's going to be 4 minus 4. You're going to get 0 Newton. Now with C, they are moving in the same direction. So we are going to have 6 plus 3. We're going to have 9 Newton. The next one, D. D, they are all moving in the same direction. So we're going to have 3 plus 3. We're going to get 6 Newton. Then E. E has a twist. Alright, so you have two forces moving in the same direction, one force moving in the opposite direction. So you're going to add forces that are in the same direction. So 2 plus 4, you're going to get 6. So 6 minus 5, you're going to have 1 Newton. Yes, so I do the forces A, B, C, D, and E as balanced and unbalanced forces. Now when the net force gives you 0, it's actually a balanced force. When a net force doesn't give you 0, it's an unbalanced force. So with A, we had 5 Newton, it's an unbalanced force. B, we had 0, so it's a balanced force. C, we had 9, so it's unbalanced. D is also unbalanced because we had 6. E is also unbalanced, so only B is balanced. The next question says, what will be the effect of the forces on E? Alright, so with E, you had a lot of forces, some in the same direction, the one in opposite direction. So since the net force is 1 Newton and the forces on the left side is greater than the force on the right side, so what your answer will be is that it will move the object in the right direction because they are moving towards the right, so they're going to push the 5 Newton. Then Ivan, if object C moves through a distance of 500 centimeters, calculate the work done by the force in joules. So I'm supposed to find the work. Now work equals force times distance. Okay, so we have our distance to be 500 centimeters and we are dealing with C here. C gave us a force of 9 Newton, so we are going to have 9 multiplied by the distance here is in centimeters. Now when you are working in Newton, your distance should be in meters, so converting 500 centimeters to meters, what you need to know is 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. If 1 meter equals 100 centimeters, divide 500 by 100, you're going to get 5 meters. So 9 multiplied by 5, you're going to get 45 joules. Yes, the question says you should answer in joules, but it can also be Newton meter. I just leave the answer in joule for the sake of the question. We are moving on to 1B. In the diagram below, holes X, Y, and Z were made on a cylinder of radius 7 cm. Water was poured into the cylinder and the distances the water traveled through X, Y, and Z were observed. Study the diagram carefully and answer the questions that follow. Now, in my previous video, I asked that when a question or a diagram is given, you should be able to identify the concept before you be able to answer the question successfully. Otherwise, you're in trouble. You have to do a lot of thinking to be able to figure it out. So what is the aim of this experiment? The aim of this experiment is to show that pressure increases with depth, DEPTH. I explain why the water through Z traveled the longest distance. It traveled the longest distance because it has the greatest depth. If the height of the cylinder is 15 centimeters, calculate the volume of water in the cylinder when it is full. Now this 7 centimeter cube, I don't think it's 7 centimeter cube. It's supposed to be 7 centimeters because radius is not, doesn't have a unit of centimeter cube. So let's just say the radius is 7 centimeters. And then the height is 15 centimeters from the question. Alright, so calculate the volume. The reason why I know this is not, this number here doesn't represent volume is that we have been asked to find the volume. This is a cylinder. Now, a cylinder has this shape. Yes, so we are going to apply what we know in mathematics in finding the volume of a cylinder. The volume of a cylinder, V equals pi r squared h. Yes, pi r squared h. From pi r squared, that's the area of the circular part in the lower part of the cylinder. And this is an open cylinder. We have one side open. So if you have one side open, it means that you find the area first, then multiply by the height, which is the 15. So V equals 22 over 7 times 7 squared times the height, which is 15. So 7 here, cancel 1 7 here, so you have 7 here. So 22 multiplied by 7 times 15,310 centimeter cube. So this is question 1C. The diagram below shows the steps in an experiment to prove that photosynthesis takes place in the leaves of green plants. Study the diagram carefully and answer the questions that follow. So we have leaf in a boiling water, then leaf in boiling ethanol, decolorized leaf in cold water, iodine solution, then you have II. Alright, so we go to the next page and answer the question. Now if you have an idea about this diagram, you are ready to answer the questions. But if you've not met it before, you have to apply your knowledge in biology. The first question, why was the leaf boiled in water? Now, you know the leaf was attached to a plant which is a living thing, so it is boiled to kill the cells. State the reason why the leaf was boiled in alcohol. It was boiled in alcohol to remove the chlorophyll. Why was iodine added to the leaf in I? Iodine is used to test for starch, so that was why iodine was dropped onto the leaf in I. Then the next one says in III, the color of the iodine changed to blue-black. Explain this observation. So it changed to blue-black because there's starch present. You know, with questions like this, just answer the question. Just go straight to the point. Don't say much unless you're asked to explain, like the last question here. Explain why the result in III shows that photosynthesis took place in the leaf. So during photosynthesis, carbon dioxide combines with water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to form glucose. Starch is a type of carbohydrate which is also, yes, is a complex carbohydrate. So the starch there tells you that carbohydrate is present, or glucose is present, or glucose was manufactured. Then we move on to D. So the diagram below shows a reaction between zinc granules and dilute HCl. Study it carefully and answer the questions that follow. So we are asked to identify A to D. So A is a test tube, and then B is a cork, C-O-R-K, cork. C is a delivery tube, and then D is a type of gas. Now, HCl plus zinc will definitely give you hydrogen gas. So you can see hydrogen gas. So state the function of A, B, C, M. So the function of A is that it's what holds. It's in A, which that's the reaction between the zinc granules and then the HCl takes place. Then the cork. Yes, the cork prevents the gas from escaping. Then C helps the gas to be collected. So it directs the gas so it can be collected. So write a balanced equation for the reaction. So this is the reaction. So Zn plus HCl. So we are going to have zinc reacting with chlorine. So zinc chloride plus H2, because hydrogen in a reaction exists as a molecule. So realize that the hydrogen is not balanced. So what do? To make things very simple and faster, not to forget the 2 below the chlorine. There's supposed to be 2 here and put 2 here. So with this, it is balanced. 2 atoms of hydrogen on the right side, 2 atoms of chlorine on the left, 2 atoms of chlorine on the right. So the aim of the experiment is to manufacture hydrogen gas and identify how to test. Now with hydrogen gas, when a glowing splint is brought closer to hydrogen gas, it gives a pop sound. Great. So we are done with the particle aspect. We continue from question 2. We are asked to define waste management, explain composting and identify how it's applied in waste management, explain non-communicable diseases, then 5 non-communicable diseases, define health according to World Health Organization, the fungal diseases, and distinguish between science and technology. So I'll switch to the file where I answered all the questions, and the ones that need explanation I'll do there. So the definition of waste management is also, you can pause the video and then read through. So compost and its application in waste management. So how compost is used in waste management, and also application in waste management. Reduces landfill waste by recycling, promotes compost for agriculture, and then lowers greenhouse gases. The next question has to do with non-communicable diseases. It says that they are caused by non-infectious agents, cannot be transmitted from person to person. So these are examples of non-communicable diseases. Then the next one, definition of health according to World Health Organization. Pursuit of complete physical and social health without merely the absence of disease. So example of fungal diseases. Then the next is science and technology. Difference between science and technology. Science focuses on understanding natural phenomena. Technology applies the knowledge, scientific knowledge. Science looks at laws, and then technology focuses on, an example of technology is design a car engine based on physics principles. Science is driven by curiosity, and then technology is driven by problem solving. So it goes to explain agriculture, then identify one part of a plant used for the following: planting, a tool, animal housing, soil improvement, and then pest control. So we are going to look at plants, then the type of plant, the part of the plant that is used in planting, part of the plant that is used as a tool, part of plant that is used for animal housing, part of a plant that is used for soil improvement, and there are certain plants as well that help control pests. Then the next one, climate change. State 3, natural factors that contribute. So natural factors that contribute to climate change. Define momentum, and there's a calculation question which I will solve by myself. So with momentum equals mass times velocity, product of mass and velocity. So from the question, we have 100 kilograms, that's the mass of the body, the velocity of 0.5 meters per second. Calculate the momentum. So equals 100 multiplied by 0.5. We're going to have 50 units for mass is kilogram, units for velocity is meter per second. So we are multiplying the unit, 50 kilogram meter per second. So that is it. This is the momentum of this body. We're on question 4. You have to define pressure. List 5 devices that make use of pressure. State Newton's third law of motion and write 3 applications of Newton's third law of motion in everyday life. Explain energy conservation and then identify 3 ways of conserving electrical energy at home. Pressure is a force per unit area of a substance, or you can say force applied perpendicular to the surface of an object per unit area, over which that force is distributed. So the formula is stated. Pressure equals force over area. And that's our unit for forces Pascal. Then we have these devices that operate on the principle of pressure. The next question had to do with Newton's third law. It says that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Everyday life, walking, rocket propulsion, then swimming, they all work on the principle of Newton's third law. Energy conservation, it's reducing energy consumption by using it more efficiently, and then avoiding unnecessary waste. The ways which energy is conserved. So switch to LED bulbs, unplug devices when not in use, and use energy efficient appliances. Igneous rock are crystalline in nature, and 2 examples of igneous rock, we have granite and then basalt. Then, if you're a student, you should know that the second one is definitely sedimentary rock. So with sedimentary rock, the property is that it's often visible in the layers. You see the layers. And then 2 examples, you have limestone and then sandstone. Then the third, metamorphic rock, which is formed from the combination of the igneous and the sedimentary. You have properties to the new minerals formed, and then 2 examples of metamorphic rock. You have marble and then slate. So we are moving on to question 5. What's a simple machine? A simple machine is any device that helps to make work easier. So we'll just look at 5 examples of simple machines and then get back here and then answer the calculation and then the table as well. So when you are asked to give examples of simple machines, don't say scissors, bottle opener, sugar tongs and so on. You are being actually asked to give the group under which these devices that help work to become easier can be put. So you have lever as one, pulley, wheel and axle, inclined plane, and then screw. Now under these is where you have these devices. So take note, that is why I had to switch. So let's go and then solve the calculation one. So a machine uses effort of 0.5 Newton, so your effort is 0.5 Newton. To move a load of 2.5 Newton, such that when the effort moves through a distance of 1 meter, so effort distance, effort of 1 meter, so not 1 meters. The load moves through a distance of 0.1 meters, 0.1 meter. Calculate the work output. Now when you say work output, what do you see on the outside? What you actually see on the outside is what's the what has been done to the load. So work output is load times load distance. Load times load distance. So multiplying 2.5 by 0.1, you're getting 0.25. Then your work input, the effort you put in, so that is 0.5 times 1, okay, still going to be 0.5. Now if you forget your unit, you will be penalized. So your work output is work, so joule. Work input also is in joule. The next one is velocity ratio. Velocity ratio equals effort distance on load distance. So your effort distance was 1 meter over load distance was 0.1. So this is going to give you 10. Velocity ratio doesn't have units, so it's 10. Now, efficiency of a machine. Efficiency of a machine equals work output over work input multiplied by 100. Work output over work input multiplied by 100. So your output is 0.25 over 0.5 multiplied by 100. Now take note, the efficiency of a machine shouldn't be above 100%. So that one is a loan. So once you get 100 over something more than 100 is a red flag, as you'll see. It's wrong. So 0.25 multiplied by 100 over 0.5. So you are getting 50%. So the efficiency of the machine is 50%. Alright. So the last table here, food nutrients, and then the end product of digestion. End product of digestion of carbohydrates is what? Is glucose. The end product of protein is amino acid. The end product of lipid is fatty acid and glycerol. So we are on the objectives. So we go writing. What's the basic unit of life? That's a cell. That's C. Then number 2. What is the cell membrane also known as? The cell membrane is also known as a plasma membrane. So that's A. Then question 3. What's the function of the cell membrane? So reading through to control what enters and leaves the cell, to provide structure of the cell, to provide energy for the cell. So question 3, the answer is A. The next one, what is the organelle for producing energy for the cell? The organelle responsible for producing energy for the cell is mitochondria, A. Question 5. What is the organelle responsible for storing genetic information? It is the nucleus, A. Question 6. What is scientific inquiry? So scientific inquiry is a process of questioning and seeking answers. So that's also A. Question 7. Why is science important in our daily lives? A. It helps us to understand the world. B. It provides solutions to problems. C. It improves technology. D. All of the above. Question 7 is D. All of the above. Question 8. What is the difference between qualitative and quantitative data? Alright. So qualitative data is numerical, quantitative is descriptive. So going through everything. Question 8 is B. Because qualitative is descriptive, quantitative is numerical. That's true. Now, as I go through the questions, kindly try to solve them on your own. You can pause the video regularly before I answer them. What's the purpose of data analysis in science? So the purpose of data analysis, why do we analyze it? Why do we collect data, process it, analyze and make a decision? It's to draw conclusions. So number 9 is B. Number 10. What is a scientific model? Wow. So question 10. A replica of reality, a theory, a law, representation of a system or phenomena. So question 10. The answer is D. 11. What is the unit? Which unit is used to measure mass? The unit that is used to measure mass is gram or kilogram. That's the standard unit. Question 12. What's the unit used to measure volume? Unit used to measure volume is liter. Yes, or meter cube or centimeter cube. Which unit is used to measure temperature? Unit used to measure temperature: Celsius, Kelvin, Fahrenheit. 13 is D, all of the above. 14. What is accuracy in measurement? So closeness to the true value, consistency of measurement, speed of measurement, ease of measurement. Okay. So Question 14, the answer is closeness to the true value. That's accuracy. Question 15, what is precision in measurement? So closeness to true value, consistency of measurement, speed of measurement, ease of measurement. Question 15, the answer is B, consistency of measurement. 16, which of the following is a characteristic of a good scientist? A, curiosity, B, skepticism, C, open-mindedness, D, all of the above. Question 16 is all of the above, D. Question 17, what is the difference between a scientific fact and a scientific theory? So fact is proven, theory is not, theory is proven, fact is not. Fact is a single observation, theory explains many observations. Fact is a guess, theory is a proven fact. Question 17, the answer is C. 17, the answer is C. It's a single observation. Fact is a single observation, theory explains many observations. 18, why is it important to record data accurately in scientific measurement? Question 18, the answer, question 18. So A is to ensure validity, B to ensure reliability, C to draw conclusions, D all of the above. The answer to question 18 is D, all of the above. 19. What is the role of technology in science? To replace human observation, to enhance human observation, to prove scientific theories, to disprove scientific theories. The answer to question 19 is B, to enhance human observation. 20. Which of the following is an example of a scientific model? A globe, diagram of a human body, picture of a plant cell. Question 20. The answer is D, all of the above. 21. Why is it important to communicate scientific findings effectively? 21. The answer is C, to share knowledge. 22. Which state of matter has a fixed shape and volume? Fixed shape, fixed volume. Question 22. Our answer is A, solid. Question 23. Which state of matter takes the shape of its container? So we have A, solid, B, liquid, C, gas, D, plasma. The answer to question 23 is B, liquid. 24. What's the process called when a solid becomes a liquid? 24. Melting, A. 25. What's the process called when a liquid changes to gas? That's condensation, D. 26. Which state of matter is characterized by particles that are close together? Question 26. Answer is A, solid. 27. Which state of matter is characterized by freely moving particles? 27. Answer is C. 28. Which state of matter has a fixed volume but not a fixed shape? 28 is B. 29. What's the process called when a gas changes to a liquid? Gas changing to liquid is known as condensation. Question 30. Which state of matter is characterized by free moving particles? So question 30, our answer is C, gas. Question 31. What is the ability of a substance to be attracted to a magnet? So ability of a substance to be attracted to a magnet is magnetism, B. 32. Which property of matter is measured in units of gram per milliliter? Question 32. Our answer is A, density. It can also be measured. It can also be measured in gram per centimeter cube or kilogram per meter cube. 33. What is the amount of matter in an object? The amount of matter in an object is the mass of the object. 33 is A. 34. Which property of matter is a measure of its ability to conduct heat? 34. Answer is A. Conductivity. 35. What is the property of matter that allows it to dissolve in a solvent? 35 is also A. Solubility. 36. Which property of matter is affected by gravity? Mass, weight, volume, density. 36. Our answer is B. What is the ratio of mass to volume? Ratio of mass to volume is density A. Next one. Which property of matter can be observed without changing its identity? So question 38. We have physical property throughout. Okay, so without changing its identity, that is a physical property. So question 38 is A. What is an example of a physical property? Permeability, reactivity, density, toxicity. The answer is C. Question 40. What property of matter is a measure of its resistance to change in motion? Question 40 is D. Inertia, first law of Newton's first law of motion. Question 41. What type of change occurs when a substance changes from one state to another? So when a substance changes from one state to another, we say that change is it's a physical change. So let's say water changing from liquid to solid. That's one state to another. It's a physical change. So question 42. What's the importance of critical thinking in science? So to accept information without questioning, to analyze and evaluate information, to memorize scientific facts, no contradictory evidence. Another question 42 is to analyze and evaluate. 43. Which of the following is a benefit of scientific research? So the answer to this question is, let's see, I can't choose one actually. Improving our understanding of the world, develop new technologies, solving real life or real world problems. 43 is D. 44. Why is science considered a dynamic process? Because it's constantly changing, because new discoveries are made, because old theories are fully wrong. Yes, it's possible. So 44, the answer is D. All of the above. 45. What's the difference between precision and accuracy? Precision is consistency, accuracy is closeness to the true value. So 45. Our answer is C. 46. How many centimeters are in 1 meter? That's 100. 46 is B. 47. How many grams are in 1 kilogram? The number of grams in 1 kilogram is 1,000. So C. What is the unit of measurement of area? Unit of measurement of area is square meters, or meter square, as we say it. Which unit is used to measure density? Unit used to measure density is gram per cubic centimeter. A. 49 is A. In 50, what's the purpose of calibration in measurement? So to ensure accuracy, to increase precision, to decrease error. Question 50, all of the above. B. Question 51. What's the difference between a meniscus and a straight edge? So question 51. Meniscus is curved, straight edge is flat. So 51 is A. You see meniscus when you put liquid in a tube. Which property of matter is measured using a balance? Balance is B. Mass is B. Mass. What's the process of changing units from one system to another? It's called conversion, converting it. So A. 54. The unit used to measure density is gram per centimeter. What 54 is B. 55. What's the scientific method used for? What's the scientific method used for? A scientific method is used to actually understand a phenomenon. So the answer is C. 56. Which step of the scientific method involves testing a hypothesis? Question 56. Test a hypothesis when you are experimenting. So C. 57. What's the difference between a scientific law and scientific theory? The difference is that a law is a rule, theory is an explanation. Yes, like Newton's first law is a rule. 58. Which of the following is a characteristic of scientific knowledge? Characteristic of scientific knowledge is that it is tentative. It simply means that it is subject to change, can be revised, and so on. Question 59. What's the purpose of peer review in scientific community? So the purpose of peer review in a scientific community is that it helps to validate research findings. Peer review means, you allow fellow scientists to question and look into what you have done, to say that all truth is parallel. So why is science important for problem solving? Okay, so science is important for problem solving because it provides a systematic approach. We are almost there. Question 61. What's the unit of measurement of force? The unit of measurement of force is Newton. 62. Which tool is used to measure pressure? Used to measure pressure is barometer. 63. What's the purpose of estimation in measurement? To estimate something is to get an approximate value. 64. How do you measure the length of a curved line? You measure the length of a curved line using a flexible measuring tape or using a piece of string. So question 64 is B. After using a piece of string, you now put it on the straight edge to know the actual length. 65. What's the process by which cells divide to produce new cells? It's called mitosis. A. 66. What's the process by which cells respond to stimuli? It's called irritability. 67. What type of cell has a cell wall? It's a plant cell. A bacterial cell could also have a cell wall. Then a fungal cell as well. Question 68. Which type of cell has a flagellum? The type of cell that has a flagellum is bacterial cell. And then even some animal cells like the sperm cell, but mostly bacterial cell. 69. What type of cell has chloroplast? Definitely is the plant cell. And the last question. What is the function of the cytoplasm? It provides structure to the cell.